Joining us now is none other than our brother Isiah James. He is running for Congress in the state of New York. He is a longtime supporter and returning guest to our show. Brother Isiah, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Just trying to get all the technical stuff worked out about this stuff. I mean,
once we can hear you, we'll be just excited as you.
I'm trying to play it off. Tunde, man, make sure we can hear him. Make sure we can hear him in our ears. I know the audience probably could hear, but I was trying to be patient. Rebecca ain't got no patience. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I mean, I can't see the screen. I can't see y'all. I can hear y'all.
Okay.
I'm looking at myself frozen on the screen right now.
Okay. You know what, man? But we see you on our screen, and you're looking good, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, I wanted to bring you on one because I want your voice to be amplified even more, man. We're trying to send as many radical progressives to Congress as possible. Tell us about, and we're going to get to all this the other stuff I want to talk to you about. How's the race coming for you?
It's actually coming good. We're doing a lot better than last time, in terms of name recognition, interviews, exposure and all that stuff. But I wanted to correct you on something. I'm not a radical. There's nothing radical about the things we're talking about or fighting for. We cannot use the oppressor's language to describe ourselves, because when we do, we legitimize his argument. So I'm not radical. It's not radical to want health care. It's not radical for cops not to shoot people. It's not radical to stop spending money on war and to help the poor and to heal the sick. That's not radical. Those are the things we're supposed to do as fellow human beings. Jesus told us to do that. Call him a radical. And they crucified him for trying to heal the sick and to feed the poor. So no. We're not radicals. We're everyday, regular damn people who are tired of a government that serves the rich and the powerful and the 1%.
Man, he just ripped my head off my head, read me for that. But you absolutely right though. But he's you absolutely right. But all right. So how is this non-radical campaign going then?
It's going good. Listen,
no. Yeah.
Because when they use that language, to folks who are fighting for it, we know it's not radical, but it turns some people off. Like, I don't want to get involved with those radicals over there. That's crazy stuff they're talking about. But when you go up to a Republican who's deep in Trump country and you ask them, hey, do you think your child should die because they can't afford $10,000 a month cancer medications? And they're like, well, no. Well, then that's not a radical idea to think that the richest country in the world should help your baby girl or your baby boy because they live here and we have the money to do so.
That's it.
But it's going great. It's going great. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for
it's a pleasure. And truth be told, it was like we have to make sure that we get brothers and sisters and non-gender conforming individuals like you across the country into Congress. We have to, because if we don't, then everything else falls apart. Everything that we're trying to accomplish, Medicare for all, you listed it, Fight for 15, all these things that we're trying to fight for. We can't do it without people in Congress who have clear eyes about what's going on, like you. And there's a lot of special elections that are going on around the country. So let's shift gears a little bit, because you spoke out about the lieutenant in Virginia who was assaulted by those police officers, and you shared a video. We have the video, but I figured we could play it if you want. But tell us about the incident that you went through that was very similar.
Oh, yeah, it was similar. I had gotten back from war not too long before that, and I was actually, my dad at the time. The irony of the story is my dad is also a veteran. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like it. He's Rastafari. He got long dreads, all that stuff. Folks don't know my background is Jamaican American. So he's a Vietnam veteran. And at the time, he didn't have a vehicle and he was living down in Florida, and his, senior development had got bought by some corporations. So he was getting kicked out of the place he lived. So I went down there to help him, and I was actually driving him around, and every Sunday, it's like a soul food. Every Sunday, my dad would cook a big dinner, and all his kids who were around the area would come to his house and eat and laugh and joke and be jovial. So I had just finished driving my dad from the grocery store. And, if Jamaicans, they drink their Ray and nephew, they drink their rum.
Yes, they do. Red Stripe.
So we stopped at Walgreens little liquor store. to buy him 2 small bottles of gin. And I had pulled right up next to a police officer with my handicap placard and everything. Me and my dad got out and walked in. Long story short, the cop comes inside and says, "Whose car is that?" I'm like, "My car." He's like, "You got to move that car." And I was like, "For what?" I was like, "First of all, there's one person in front of me. I'm about to pay and leave, and you'll never see me again." And he's like, "You can't park there. That's for disabled handicap parking." I was like, "What are you talking about, bro?" I reached my wallet. I was like, "Here's my veteran's ID from the VA hospital. Here's my retired ID." I'm like, "I'm a disabled vet. I'm allowed to park there. My plaque is hanging in the window." He snatched it out of my hand. So I was like, okay, this ain't gonna go well. So I started recording him, and he started telling me I don't look like I'm disabled. And I was like, "Well, your fat ass don't look like you're a police officer. If we're going off just look." I was like, "We going strictly off looks. How the hell are you a cop with your stomach hanging over your belt?" I was like, "So if that's the metric by which I got blown up my country. I said, you can go ahead and play it. People can see it." And yeah, I cussed his ass out. And I'll cuss anybody's ass out who try to violate my rights. I don't care who you are. You know, a lot of people say they don't care. They'll talk back to a cop. You can watch the video and see Isaiah's not playing. I will light your ass up. I don't care who you are. You are not going to violate my rights and make me less than human because you have a gun and a badge. Listen, I've been shot at by better people than you all over the world. So I ain't scared of that. That ain't so I lit his ass up. He slapped the phone out of my hand. And I was like, and then we argued for 15 minutes about handicap placards. I'm like, "What are you doing? You are the craziest damn person in the world." Long story short, nothing came of it. You know, he could put on paid suspension and all that stuff. You know what I mean? He assaulted me. They charged him for breaking my phone, but not for assault. When the mechanism he used broke my phone was he slapped me. I mean, it's crazy. So
Isaiah, listen, like, that's interesting that you said nothing came of it. I mean, thank God that you walked away from it without him trying to pull out a gun. I mean, because some people would have looked at your video and said, go ahead.
And I know myself, I'm a lot calmer than I was when I first got back from Iraq and Afghanistan. I had a concealed carry permit on me. My gun was in the center console of my car. You can't carry a gun into a liquor store in Florida because they make more than 50% of their income off alcohol. So you can't carry a gun into those type of places. My gun was in my car. If he had slapped me and I reached for my gun, if he reached for his, God only knows. I can tell you I'm quicker on the draw than he is. God only knows I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6 because instinct would have taken over. The Army trained 10 years to do that. You know what I mean? So instinct would have taken over, and then my life would have taken a completely different turn because all my boys who know me are like, "Man, you're so lucky that you weren't carrying." And I know I was. You know what I mean? God was looking out for me because I would have had to. I'm not going to let you kill me in front of my father. I don't want to take a human life ever again, but I damn sure rather sit in a courtroom than lay in a casket. So, you know what I mean? That's the way that turned out.
Wow. No, that's deep, but it's exactly what happened to that lieutenant. And it's crazy that keeps happening. And it's even interesting or shocking, or is it shocking? But it does shock me that we are still experiencing this to this day. So it's like to this day. Exactly. And what exactly what steps would you say, guys, because as you are running for Congress, what position would you take on this as a leader? And what would you say that you would put in place to stop this from happening, especially in your area?
Okay, so thank you for the question. That's a very deep question that we have to peel back like the layers of an onion. So first of all, we have never dealt with the 400-year sin in this country, which is slavery. And that racism is pervasive in every single aspect of our society. It's in banking, it's in the criminal justice system, policing, it's housing, it's in education, it's in healthcare, it's in finance, it's in college, everything. So as you can see, little black boys and little black girls are suspended at a higher rate. Black women business owners are denied loans at a higher rate. Black people are denied home loans at a higher rate. Black people are shot and killed and jailed by police in the criminal justice system at a higher rate. So we have to deal with the root cause. It's like when you have a root canal, they don't just clean your teeth, they dig out the infected root inside of your tooth and to fix it, to heal it. We have never dealt with the core of this problem, which is racism in this country. We try to gloss it over with different bills and different rules and different laws. And America has never made whole her black, diaspora and generation because they just choose not to. Everybody sticks their head in the sand. So we have to deal with that root cause, because the cop that assaulted me was a Black cop, but he was taught anti-Black racism as soon as he joined the police force. You see what I'm saying? So we have to deal with that, number one. Number two, more body cams ain't gonna do nothing. The young brother, Dante, was just shot on camera. The cop, the lieutenant was just pepper sprayed on camera. I was slapped holding a camera in front of a damn police officer. You know what I mean? Everybody, Jacob Blake was shot. All of them were shot on camera. So cameras aren't going to do anything. We need to defund these police, and we need to train people different. We need to have something different because a lot of the people who were shot by police were shot from mental health call-outs, like people calling because they're dealing with a mental health issue, people who are homeless and all these things, people who are addicted to drugs. We need crisis workers instead of police officers to deal with these things, because if all you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. Police officers right now aren't trained to de-escalate. They're trained to escalate. You watch the video of me, the cop says, "Get the camera out of my face," and starts walking towards me. What is that? Wow. He wants me to touch him. The minute I touch him, escalate. Cops are trained to escalate the situation, not de-escalate. So we need crisis workers for people who are dealing with mental health. We need to defund the police and stop giving them all these damn weapons to where they can kill us, because right now, Joe Biden is accelerating the 1033 program, the program that allows police to get military surplus equipment. It's moving faster under Biden than it did under Trump. And remember, Biden gave us the crime bill. Biden and Clinton called us super predators. Those were the ones who did that. We also, when I said we need to defund the police, we need to put that money into mental health services, into education, into job programs, because just taking that money out and letting it sit in the coffers to go for tax breaks for corporations is not going to do anything. But taking that money out and using it in the communities that this criminal injustice system has so woefully hurt is going to start to make right the wrongs. It's not going to fix everything, because you can't do something for 400 years and think you're going to fix it overnight. But we can damn sure start now, because what we're doing is obviously not working.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm looking at and Tunde, I don't know if you have that B-roll of Brooklyn Center where they were quote unquote holding the line. We've been looking at that over and over again, and we've been comparing it to the response that the Capitol Police on January 6th. They were told not to use their most aggressive tactics, and then we look at what happened in Minneapolis or in Brooklyn Center last night, where the tanks were pulled out. Right. And this is all a part of the 1033 program that they're getting this weaponry from the federal government, and they're allowing these cops to come out and play soldier. And just talk a little bit more about how the difference in how this police state is brought down to bear against Black lives versus the way they absolutely did not bring it down to bear against those white supremacists on the terrorist attack of January 6th.
Well, I mean, that's why we say Black Lives Matter, because it's as clear as night and day. There is no gray area in this anymore. If you choose not to see the problem, you are choosing not to see the problem. I don't know how much more clear and evident this is. You had Capitol police officers. These are people who are protecting the seat of power in our nation, in the nation's capital. And they let white folks storm past them. You might have had the occasional Black person or indigenous person or Hispanic person who's been brainwashed, who was running with them, but that don't mean anything. We've had those people for thousands of hundreds of years. We call them house niggas. They've been out there, so we know they're there. They're the Candace Owens, they're the Stacey Dashes, they're the Omarosa. So don't point to that Black person and be like, look, there's Black people who support Republicans. No, we've had those folks. We know who the hell they are. So let's strike that off the board right now. But it's as clear as day that we can see inside the nation's capital, they let the rebel flag storm through the halls of Congress. That's never happened. Not even during the Civil War. But when Black people take to the streets and say, listen, you sons of bees are going to stop killing us, killing our children, then they pull out military surplus equipment. And this is the same equipment that I use in Iraq and Afghanistan, the same exact vehicles. I could go over to those vehicles and start them up and drive them, no problem, because I've been trained on it. It's the same vehicle. Those vehicles have rolled down the streets of Baghdad. Now they're rolling down the streets of America. What is going on? There's a conscious effort, like I said. We're trying to tell you that Black Lives Matter, but you don't hear us. But what did Martin Luther King Jr. say? He said a riot is the language of the unheard. Martin Luther King Jr. said this in a peaceful way. What did Malcolm X say? Malcolm X said there's a bomb in the man's house. If you don't get that bomb out of the house, it's going to explode. And that bomb in the man's house is racism in America. If you do not get it out, it will explode into something very, very ugly. It's already done it, but it's so, everybody's so, caught up in their own lives that you don't really think about it because it's disparate. Oh, another brother got shot over here. Another sister got shot over here. Another sister got shot over here. But we take it in totality, you're like, damn, people are getting shot by police officers left and right. And I say black people because we're shot at a higher clip, but white folks are getting shot. Hispanic folks are getting shot. Native folks. Look what happened to the folks at Standing Rock. They say, hey, listen, we don't want you to pollute our water. They brought in the whole damn army for them. Yet you literally had insurgents and terrorists storm the Capitol. They're like, go ahead, walk right on in. Walk right on and take pictures with them. Yeah, MAGA this and MAGA that. Took pictures with them. I mean, come on. Like I said, if you're burying your head in the sand right now, this is willful ignorance. You have to work to be ignorant in 2021. The whole entire human history is right here on my phone. I can pull up anything I want to learn about something. If you are ignorant right now of the situation, it's a full-time job to be that.
It's a full-time job to be ignorant. Hey, man, a lot of people in the comment section want to know how they can support your campaign and everything that you're doing. So go ahead and give us how they can reach you and how they can support your campaign.
Again, thank you all for having me on. I know there's always technical difficulties when I come on. I think it's the man. He don't want me on. You gotta be something. Damn it, I know.
Can you see us now?
No, I've been looking at myself the whole time. Listen, my wife's a first grade teacher, actually in the bedroom on the laptop teaching her first grade class, and I'm out here in the living room.
Well, you going on?
Yeah, that's why you see her stuff behind me because I'm in her virtual classroom. So folks can go to Isiah for Congress, ISIAH for Congress.com. They can find me on there. That's the campaign website. They can the same name on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, Isiah for Congress. They can, help support with $5, $10, because every dollar matters. Every dollar is a door hanger that I can put on somebody's door to help spread the message. And if you broke like me, then just follow and retweet, share a tweet. I talk all the damn time. I'm sure I said something you agree with. You know what I mean? So just share.
Shit, said a whole lot.
You were preaching today, honey.
Right.
You was in the house today. And you gave us a little Jamaican accent because you was getting a little heated. Yeah, so it was getting Caribbean in there.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I mean, that's how
he said, how you a police officer?
All the Jamaicans out there, I told my wife last night when we were laying in bed, I was like, man, you know what I want some cow foot. She's like, what? And my wife's Puerto Rican. Cow foot. I was like, yeah, I want some cow foot. We're going to go to a Jamaican restaurant. I'm going to get some cow foot. People are like, ew, cow foot. Listen, let me tell you something right now. All right, we change your life. Black folks are known for making diamonds out of coal. What do you think chitlins are? What do you think cowfoot is? We know how to do it. All right.
I've ate cowfoot from the Jamaicans before. I have. I too have.
Nah, I can't say that I've never had cowfoot.
Yeah, I've never had pizza.
Yeah. Well, I'm Caribbean, so it was something. It was something I tried.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. But you gotta understand, like I've had chitlins, but I would never eat them again. So
you won't eat
never.
You won't eat.
But you'll eat chitlins.
No, I said I would never eat chitlins again. Never. Like I had one in my mouth, and I'm like, and I realized it just my brain told me what it was, and I was like, nah, I can't mess with it. But I'll give cowfoot a try though.
But think about something. You see how gross you thought it tasted? That food sustained us for hundreds of years. So if black people, people don't understand. A lot of black people don't understand that we come from the most powerful stock. If we can survive what we survived for 400 years in this country, do you understand how strong we are as a people? You know what I mean? How could I ever give up with today's situation, knowing that my ancestors are Jamaican? Jamaica was a hellish slavery plantation, and my people came out of that. If my people can come out of that, we damn sure can come out of this. Because we didn't come this far to only come this far.
Listen, Isiah James, hey man, best of luck and all the efforts that you're putting into that 9th congressional district there in New York. We really appreciate the fight that you're in and that you're sustaining that fight. We really appreciate that. And thanks for coming on this morning.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.